Hey everyone. Like everyone else, I have my faults. But one of my faults has never been being too trusting. I usually don't trust people, don't trust things, don't trust situations. I kind of question everything. So when I do trust something, and it's not the way it's supposed to be, I kind of get aggravated. Here's an example of that. I've been looking for an EDC fixed blade. Just wanted another one for the collection and kind of switch things up. So I need something that's under 3 inches. Because of where I live, 3 inches concealed carry is totally perfectly legal. Over that is not totally perfectly legal. So, right here we have what I think is an excellent knife. I've done a video on this before. This is the CRKT Spew, which was designed by Alan Foltz. Another pretty cool knife, not as cool as this one in my opinion, but another pretty coal knife is the Cold Steel Double Agent. Both of them are inexpensive. You can get them each for like $25, maybe a little bit less, depending on where you shop. Now, these knives have a few things in common. They're both inexpensive, made by companies I like, and they both aggravated me. But it wasn't the knife's fault or the company's fault. It was the fault of, packaging and all this other stuff. Let me tell you. First of all, see this knife right there? I bought this on Amazon. And I thought it seemed like a cool knife, thought it'd be a good self-defense knife because it has the 2 finger holes, which I like, fits my hand very well, it's very light. And one of the reasons I bought it was because it was 3 inches long. So because it was 3 inches long, 3 inches or less, totally legal to carry where I live. The only thing I was going to need to do was get this, because it's marketed as a neck knife, which I tried it as a neck knife, it's kind of klutzy. I feel like I'm Flavor Flav with a knife instead of a clock. But I figured I could put a clip on here without much trouble so I can wear it on my belt horizontally. Well, guess what? It's actually 3.5 inches. Yes, stupid me, I trusted Amazon and thought I was getting a knife with a 3-inch blade because it said it had a 3-inch blade. It actually has a 3.5-inch blade. Now, for those of you who don't know, typically blade length is measured from the tip to the top of the handle. So that would be this section. So let's follow down right here. So actually some of like where your finger would go through would be considered handle in my jurisdiction. So it's 3.5 inches. So if I had just trusted this and said, well, it's a 3-inch blade, it's totally legal. And then I had ever had an issue where I got stopped and they measured it 3.5 inches. If the cop's having a bad day, I would be too pretty soon. So big problem there. Now I didn't take the knife back because I do like the knife. Although, unfortunately, really don't have much use for it. It's unfortunate because, like I said, it's a pretty cool knife. This knife, I really, really like. Terrific knife. Now, there's a problem with this knife. 3-inch blades are legal where I live. This one's actually 3.02. 0.02 of an inch. But even though I like it very much, that 0.02 of an inch is enough to have made me not want to carry it because I'm like, even though it's only 0.02 of an inch, it's just barely over. Depending on how it got measured, you wouldn't even register, right? It still made me not want to do it because, again, I don't want to have my future rest on who's having a bad day and who's not having a bad day. So I got to thinking because while I did see it advertised as 3.02 inches on some sites, I saw it advertised as 3 inches on other sites. 3 inches permissible. 3.02 inches is not permissible. So I need something to hang my hat on. Guess what? You're going to love this. It's actually less than 3 inches. Yeah. So what I did was, again, according to my jurisdiction, because everybody's different, because it seems like most states don't feel like they belong unless they have stupid knife laws, I measured right here from the tip to right over here where the tip of the handle is, because that's the end of the handle, right? It is, from what I can tell. I measured from here to here. It's actually like maybe 2.9 inches or 2.95 inches. So it's not 3.02 inches for my jurisdiction. It's not 3 inches for my jurisdiction. It's actually like 2.95 or 2.96 or something. It's below. So this is totally, absolutely 100% permissible, which is great because it's an awesome knife. It's well made. It's full tang. It's about as long as I can get legally. Nice in hand. Just a great freaking knife. Again, I've already bragged about this thing before. The only problem with it was that it was slightly above 3 inches, but in reality it isn't. I had to bust out the ruler to actually find the truth on this one. This one, as far as cold steel goes, they actually put on their website it is 3.5 inches. But again, Amazon messed that up and just put that it was 3. Okay? So again, I'm actually going to take responsibility for that, for trusting Amazon. But I just wanted to bring this up to you because basically when I look for a fixed blade knife, which I've been using a lot more of lately, I sort knives by blade length. Like if I go to a place like Blade HQ, SMKW, Knife Center, GPS Knives, any of the knife places, and I want a fixed blade knife, I'll sort by fixed blade knives, then knife length. Or I'll do pocket knives, then knife length. Because you know what? Nothing really bugs me more than going to see a nice knife that's like 3.1 inch blade or 3.2 inch blade. I don't even want to see them in my results. I don't even want to know what I am missing. I just want to see what is permissible. So then I look for the ones that are 2 to 3 inches. I kind of rule out the ones that are like 2.3, 2.4 typically. And then I just leave myself to, okay, what's the close to 3 inches as possible. I tend to like thicker blade stock when possible. So I kind of go through all that stuff, all the other things. But like I said, the first thing I'm going for after the type of knife is blade length. And it just bugs me that sometimes people don't have it straight. So my advice to you after this whole big long soliloquy is, if you want to buy a knife, especially if you're going to spend a lot, like these two, again, reasonable. This was like 25 at, or maybe even less at Amazon. This was probably about 24 or 25 at Walmart. I don't think they carry them anymore, so you have to buy them online. Or if you're lucky enough to have a local knife shop, which I don't anymore. There are no knife shops in my state. Someone please do something about that. Just, make sure you're measuring it. And you know what? I wouldn't even hesitate if you are going to a place that sells knives, measure it in the store. Just make sure. Make sure it's actually what you think. So if it's advertising at 3 inches, make sure it's 3 inches. If it's advertising at 2.9, make sure it's 2.9. Especially if you're spending a lot of money. I'm like, what the heck? You're spending a lot of money for a knife. You want to make sure that it's something that's usable and you're not going to have any anxiety. Now, I know some of you were like, I'll use what I want to use. Well, that's fine. You can do that. You do you, as they say. Me personally, I prefer to avoid prison time, especially for something so stupid as this. So I'll just keep it under 3 inches until maybe there's a Supreme Court case where it throws out all this stuff. That is actually something I'd like to see because, just a little aside, in the Bruin decision, they said you can't ban arms if there's no history of banning them. So if there's no history of banning them, I wonder how that goes for knife length. Just wondering. All right, guys, that's a question, and actually not a bad video for another day. I will talk to you later. Have a good one.